We are still on the League, and today we are looking at some of the border disputes in the 1920s that the League managed to intervene in, and successively, most of them managed to bring peace or to broker peace between the nations. We are also going to look at some of the achievements of the committees and commissions of the League. Some of the border disputes include Poland control of Lithuania. Number 2, in 1925, there was a dispute between Germany and Poland. There was a dispute between Germany and Poland, which the League managed to oversee and to bring peaceful relations between the two nations. Number 3, in 1921, the League also resolved a dispute between Finland and Sweden, and both sides agreed to the resolutions of the League. That is, Poland control of Lithuania, Germany and Poland, and Finland versus Sweden. Other disputes that the League intervened in include the Corfu dispute of 1923 versus Bulgaria. We have Corfu incident, which took place in 1923, and the Bulgaria dispute of 1925. You can zoom the map or the picture, the diagram, and you're going to see some of the disputes that the League managed to resolve or intervened in. Zoom your map, zoom your picture, and study it very carefully. And summarize some of these disputes which the League intervened in. Let's look at the Bulgaria dispute which took place in 11th November 1925. This is whereby the Greek troops invaded Bulgaria. There was a Greek invasion of Bulgaria after some Greek soldiers were killed in a border dispute. This happened after the Corfu incident. We looked at that previously, the Corfu incident. The League ordered both sides to withdraw their forces. Greek was ordered to withdraw its forces from Bulgaria. Britain and France came in and supported the League's judgment or the League's resolution. The League observers also judged in favor of the Bulgarians. They ordered Greek forces to withdraw from Bulgaria, and they also favored the Bulgarians who had been invaded. Greece was also forced to pay compensation of 45,000 euros to Greece. It was forced either to pay compensation of euros 45,000 to Greece or be threatened with sanctions or have sanctions imposed against the country. Greece, though did not complain, obeyed the judgment of the League of Nations, although Greece did not complain. But it seemed that there were two kinds of judgments from the League of Nations. One judgment on one hand for the smaller states like Greece, Bulgaria, and another judgment for the bigger or larger nations such as Italy and Japan. This was a major success for the League. It was one of the major successes for the League, and its observers could, in fact, forget the shame they had faced at the Corfu incident. The unity of the great powers made the League to be effective. That is, the great powers Britain, France, and others supported the idea of the League imposing or making Greece to pay compensation to Bulgaria and also to force Greece to withdraw its forces from Bulgaria. Study the map, study the picture. Study the picture. On one side is Greece and on the other side is Bulgaria. Study it very carefully and come up with 3 lessons that you can deduce from this picture. Let's look at some other achievements. Apart from solving or resolving border disputes, the League of Nations also made other achievements, especially as far as commissions and committees of the League were concerned. The aim of the League, we know it was to eradicate poverty, diseases, and the social injustices in the world. Let's look at International Labour Organization. What was it all about? What was it all about? It was mostly about the working conditions of the people. It was about improving the working conditions of the people, minimum wages, working hours, holidays, and pensions. Let's move on to the Refugees Organization. The Refugee Organization, which was led by Nansen, a Norwegian explorer, and he managed to introduce a Nansen passport which made it possible for the refugees either to travel across the borders and settle back in their homelands or settle in new places. That was a big achievement, and about 400,000 prisoners were returned or were settled back in their homes by the League's agencies. The Health Committee also made some achievements. It managed to sponsor research into infectious diseases with institutes which were set up in Singapore, Denmark, and London. And these institutes helped to develop vaccines and other medicines to help fight deadly diseases such as leprosy and malaria. The Health Committee is one of the most successful agencies of the League organization. It is one of the most successful agency of the League organization. Its work was carried on by the United Nations Organization after 1945 or after the end of Second World War in the form of what is recently called World Health Organization, WHO, World Health Organization. Transport, the League recommended other transport agency on marking of ship lanes and international highway codes for the road users. And under the social problems, about 200,000 slaves in Britain owned Sierra Leone, maybe plantations, industries, farms. They were set free. They also carried out raids against slave owners and traders in Burma. It also challenged the use of forced labor in building, for example, the Tanganyika Railway in Africa, where the death rate of African workers was at 50%. The League brought this down to 4%. The League brought this down to 4%, not 40%, but to 4%. The League kept information and provided information on problems such as drug trafficking, prostitution, and slavery. This was an achievement of the League. The League also resolved political and border disputes, which we have just mentioned, quarrel between Finland and Sweden, Germany and political claims to industrial area of Upper Silesia, Greece invasion of Bulgaria, and Greek troops withdrew and paid compensation to Greece as directed by the League. Let's look at a summary of this. The real explanation for the failure of the League was a simple reason. It was so simple that the aggressive states such as Germany, Italy, and Japan defied the orders of the League. They did not comply. They never took orders from the League. The League members such as Britain and France also, they were not prepared to support the League, either economically or militarily, with finances, with funding, or with armed troops, with their troops. The League was only as strong as its members who were at the forefront, standing up or speaking against aggression. But we see that this was lacking, and after 1935, the League was never taken seriously again in the world.